Thursday evening in the Big Apple. Where else would you want to be than right here, right now? The SFLm on the Virtual Football Network. And again, a clash of two very familiar teams, the Philadelphia Cougars coming in to face the New York Gargoyles. And what we expect will be an exciting game, as it most of the time is, right here on the VFN. Cam Duty here with my buddy DJ Kilgannon, and again, we've caught a lot of these SFLm games, but I tell you, as we go down this stretch here of this portion of the season, things are ramping up, DJ. Tell me about what's on your mind this season with these games.
I'm just super excited again, Cam, and thanks for the warm welcome as always, brother. This is just going to be a tough one because New York, they're known as a pass-heavy team, always have been. They have the leading passer, the leading receiver. They're just dominant when it comes to that side of the ball. And last week, they, ran the ball. They had their best running game ever. Dominic Kane had a really good performance and put up over 150 yards, and they won without putting up any points on the offense. 4 pick sixes, and if you're Philadelphia, you see that and you're like, wow, these guys are a complete club. But that is no slight to Philadelphia. They're really solid third as far as the standings go. And if anyone's going to do it, they're going to have a chance to.
Well, it's exciting, again, as you said, to be here at the East River Cathedral. And look at this kick return right off the bat. A good run for New York all the way down to the 49-yard line. So they take almost 50 yards right off the bat here, and they'll get started on offense.
Yeah, really nice solid return. And for a second there, I thought he was going to have a bunch more room, and unfortunately he was caught. And it was a big guy that caught it. That was a big returner there. It was Washington, number 80 for New York.
A great job indeed by Washington. We welcome New York out for the first snap of the game. Jordan Goodman, of course, the quarterback. The two halfbacks, Tommy Thompson and Dominic Kane. The fullback is Kojira Rivers. And after this play, we will highlight this very talented wide receiving unit. Play clock down to 5 before Goodman decides to snap it. Pressure coming around the edge, but underneath, and again highlighting our wide receivers, we'll start with Michael Goodman, who's setting all kinds of big numbers this season. Carol Needfelt and Ivan Lazardi also in the wide receiving unit. Tight ends S.C. Meagle and James Jennings, and the offensive line is Sam Falco, D'Angelo DeJesus, and Kenny Cook. We welcome all of you in joining us this afternoon. Dominic Kane, the run, 1 yard short, 3rd and 1 here, DJ.
Yeah, and when you look at New York, they either go with all passing or all running. And if they're able to find a middle ground where both of those schemes can work in tandem, I think they're going to be really, really dangerous.
We've seen a lot of different looks out of New York. You mentioned just how good the defense was last week, all the pick sixes. In the game that we called 2 weeks prior, we've seen a lot out of the ground attack.
Mm-hmm.
And this time, though, going nowhere on 3rd down, Tommy Thompson stopped in the backfield. 24 meets number 24, Cronkworthy. And quickly, I will introduce that Philadelphia defense that made that 3-and-out. Surprising, by the way. Michael Percoco, defensive tackle, and Rose Steele as well. Defensive ends, Don Rohr and L.J. Hobbs. The linebackers, Nixon Cooper, Zachary Babineau, Aaron Collins. The cornerbacks, Miranda Dumas and Eaton Moss. The safeties, Cronkworthy, and Kev Say Jr. as a fair catch is called for. Now, listen, DJ, that's kind of an interesting point here. The great kick return by New York, but they couldn't, we've seen them go, 90 yards at times, pin the backside of their own end zone. But this Philadelphia defense was able to stop them, even with just half a field to work with.
Yeah, they absolutely were, and that's a good start for Philly. You just got to keep that going all the rest of the game. We got a lot of ball left.
We do, but a good start for Philadelphia. Mike Skamizniak, the quarterback, tosses it right side to Rashawn Williams, who we watched up in Philadelphia last week, DJ, who he just went off on those Boston Rebels.
He did. He had a monstrous performance. It was one of the best I've seen from a running back in the minors up to this point.
5-yard gain on 1st down. We'll look at the starting lineup just after this. Skamizniak, great game again. And it's Jesse Fretz, and this is something you see a lot out of this team. So we mentioned the first 3 units here on offense, Kamizniak, Rashawn Williams, and Jesse Fretz. Also, you'll see fullback John Osmosis, the wide receivers Toby Bonnets, Jamar Shelton, and Ladam McBrowski, and Has-Been Keys. The tight ends are Goose Busters and Jonathan Kilgore. The line is Leo Chang, Astro Smith, and Scott Calvin right there on the offensive side. 1st and 10 for Philadelphia. Delayed handoff once more. You will see that's Rashawn Williams there on the carry loss of 2. Good play by the defense.
Yeah, able to bottle him up there and tackle him behind the line. You're not going to see that too often. You know, these Philly runners have a tendency of breaking the first tackle that comes to them.
3 receivers on the top side for Philadelphia. Skamizniak steps back, launches one deep, tipped, and incomplete. So that brings up a 3rd and long. We'll highlight this New York defense, including Tyler Highfield, who made that deflection. He's a free safety. The defensive tackles, Big Snacks and Anthony Ellison. The defensive end, Kano Fortson and P. Fudor. The linebackers, Brogan Spara and Finn Steele and Jasad Grackleflint, who had big games last week. The cornerbacks, Andre Brown and Eric Belmont, and the safeties, Tyler Highfield, as we just mentioned, and Emmett Waddell. Big 3rd and 12 here, DJ. We'll see what they can do. Skamizniak to throw, pressure around the edge. They get to him, but what a nice play by Has-Been Keys, who's able to reel that one in and keep this drive alive for Philadelphia.
Yeah, Has-Been Keys getting his first sniff of action here in the minor leagues, and he does a really nice job on the route there, finding space in between the 2 defenders and he kind of turned around and sat there as the ball got in, but he had plenty of time to do so. It's a great route and a great throw.
And good to get him utilized early on in this game. 6:47 and counting in this first quarter. Skamizniak back to the air, and he had a target, but he throws just a little too far ahead of the tight end, Goose Busters.
Yeah, just a little bit overthrown there. He did a really good job of splitting the safeties there with that route. Skamizniak just not able to find his target.
Skamizniak, 6'3", 222 pounds. He is a returning rookie here. Toss play to the right with Rashawn Williams, who, with the exception of one pretty solid run to start this game, last couple of carries, New York's had his number.
Yeah, absolutely has. And, you know, it seems like they're definitely taking that approach that they think Philly's going to run the ball, and they're going to try and do everything in their power to set up a defense to stop it.
Pressure coming, but they back off, and it is a throw on 3rd down. Looks like McBrowski had it on his hands, and he drops it. 4th and 9 coming up, so a good solid drive, again getting out to about midfield here. Philadelphia has to punt it away.
Yeah, and both of these defenses making pretty solid stops. And, I mean, McBrowski had that one. It was just a tough catch to make. The ball was, higher up in the air, had to catch it, had to try and take the hit as you're carrying the ball, That's a tough catch to make. No shame on them for dropping it, but nonetheless, giving it back into the hands of New York, and defense, you just got to come back onto the field and kind of try and keep them slow, because, once New York gets that head of steam going, that's when they're going to be picking it up.
Good point right there, as Washington makes the fair catch. To play against New York, you have to be able to keep your foot on the gas.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it, and that's a good point to mention there, DJ. If you're just joining us, Cameron Duty here with DJ Kilgannon and, of course, Alex West back at SFLm headquarters as Ivan Lazardi going in motion, the Week 5 signing, and they keep it on the ground with Kane, who gets 3 with forward progress.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the performance Kane had last week, and maybe Philly thought a similar thing. Maybe they thought they were going to get Kane a little bit more involved, and it seems like they definitely are now, despite their usual game plan of just airing it out.
A throw and a nice, here we go, we're talking about it, this pitch and catch they do. Lazardi on the receiving end this time. He takes a shot at the end of it, but back to your point, DJ, you have to keep them stifled. They're so good at breaking out right here in plays like this.
Yeah, absolutely. You cannot let that snowball start rolling, Cam, because once you do, that's when Jordan Goodman, he's going to gain his confidence. That's when this entire crew is going to start playing at their best. And now if you're Philadelphia, these are going to be the spots after those big plays where it's going to make or break your defense if you can keep holding them after those big plays.
Keep it on the ground on the left side. Again, a good carry of 8 for the halfback Tommy Thompson. You know, Miranda Dumas, if I'm not mistaken, was the one in coverage there
Yep.
on Lazardi, and got to say good hustle because she got beat on the route, but caught back up to it. And I think that just kind of tells you right there they know they've got to get them down as quickly as they get the football in their hands.
Yep, absolutely.
And off again, head of steam back. Look at that play. Look at that aggression coming out by Dominic Kane, lowering his shoulders, and a 1st and 10. And like you said, this is where things change on this side of the field with New York after they have a big play.
Yeah, absolutely. And he just runs like with such force. You know, he's one of the smaller backs on the field today. You know, New York doesn't have a super large running back room besides their fullback, but Kane is 233 pounds. He is gonna be tough to stop when he gets a full head of steam.
Goodman over the middle to Michael Goodman. Now, we've not seen that connection go deep yet, but plenty of football to be had here. But, you know, I think we talked about this the last time we had New York on our game, DJ, and the fact that when this season started, it was literally G2G, Goodman to Goodman about every play, but they have since been able to bring along Needfelt and Lazardi and Kingfield, who's not playing this week, but some good threats downfield in the wide receiving unit. Intercepted, as we mentioned. This could be a pick six. It's going the other way. Zachary Babineau, one man to beat, trying to beat Kojiro Rivers. The big lineman's coming too, but they're going to get him. It's a pick six for Philadelphia, and the defense stands tall and negates the big pass downfield, and a touchdown on the way.
The Cougars giving the Gargoyles a spoonful of their own medicine. The pick six game has made its way back to New York, but this time it's in the white and red cloth. What a play by Zachary Babineau. Completely jumped the route, read the eyes of Jordan Goodman like it was a magazine, and just made such an athletic play to get up there, catch the ball, and make it all the way back.
An incredible display by the defense, not giving up, buckling down. We know that this side of the field here, you know, in the red zone, for instance, is such a difficult and dangerous place, no matter whether you're New York or what team you are, to put that ball in the end zone without threat of turnover, especially with the passing game as good as theirs are. But what a great job by Philadelphia. The extra point is good with the pick six. Philadelphia jumps out to the 7-0 lead.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, Philadelphia kind of answered our own question for us, Cam. We talked about, you know, how important it is to be able to stop New York after they have those big breakaway plays, and that's how they get their momentum. You know, it's one good play, and then after that, it's kind of lights out. Philly, right there, just completely put that to bed with that play.
Zachary Babineau, a week 4 signing.
Yeah.
And that just tells you just what an impact he has had on this defensive unit. And a big game here for Philadelphia, DJ. If they can pull out a win tonight, and they're off to a good start, certainly it's going to be a long battle, but how huge it would be for them to get back to 4-5 here.
Yeah, you know, we know they're itching for that, and if San Jose takes the loss, it's only going to push them closer to being caught back up into second.
Every game matters as Kane gets the carry once more and gets a good one on first down, gain of 6. Thank you guys in the chat this evening, everybody tuning in and watching together. It's a beautiful sight for sure on a Thursday evening. Something we've all gotten really, really used to and familiar with here, and something we really enjoy as part of our football lives, no doubt. On second down, the carry, they're going to say he got forward. That's Tommy Thompson again, and he gets the first down. I wasn't for sure about that, but they say he was able to stick that ball across the sticks there, DJ.
Yeah, that one was close, but I mean, nonetheless, they give it to him, and we'll see what New York can cook up here.
Jordan Goodman throwing. It is complete. There's another wide out, tight end James Jennings, who has certainly been a favorite target of Goodman's this year.
Yeah, absolutely, especially at that tight end spot. He's just another big body out there, the biggest one when it comes to his receiving core, I should say. 6'6", 250 pounds. And you don't see many of those routes where he has room to run after the catch, but right there he did, and he fought for every bit of yardage.
Goodman with pressure coming around the edges.
Oh.
Well picked up, and almost an acrobatic interception was made by Philadelphia. That was close. Had Nixon Cooper been able to reel that one in, well, let's just say he would have been competing with Babineau for style points.
Yeah, absolutely. That was, oh, that was crazy. Dolphin dive, almost caught it over his back. Oh my goodness, that would have been so exciting. But a good play nonetheless.
Goodman with another shot at it again, and this time he doesn't miss, finding Michael Goodman out in the flat for a first down.
Yeah, that father-son connection, hard to stop, I tell you. And Goodman, I mean, you're going to give Michael Goodman that much room, and he's going to make you pay. You kind of slip. I mean, it's a great design play. You have the hitch route on the far left side, and then you have Goodman running the corner route above the hitch so that it draws that bottom zone linebacker to the hitch rather than the corner. Just gives him plenty of room to make the catch like you saw right there.
Less than 2 minutes remaining in this opening stanza of play here. Goodman throwing again, short over the middle, finding Lazardi for a gain of 5.
Yeah, they're really liking those little drag routes so far, aren't they, Cam? They've gone to it, what, 3, 4, 5 times now.
Kind of a different wrinkle, isn't it, DJ? I mean, in this offense, we don't typically see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Usually they're going for big shot after big shot, you know.
A little more vertical.
Yeah.
As opposed to coming across. But today's a different day, and, you know, Meagle goes in motion, and they're always, you know, trying to perfect their craft, if you will, these teams each and every week. Try out different things, and right now, Dominic Kane, looking at Kingman miss, and he gets to the end zone for the touchdown. Swerved right around a defender and went for another 15 yards on his way to the house.
Yeah, did the tango with Miranda Dumas there on the sideline and was able to slip away barely and push it into the end zone. There we go. There's that running attack we're seeing from New York that they're starting to implement more and more as the season progresses. And we talked about it, that it's going to be crucial and it's going to be good if they're going to be able to get involved like they want to, and right now they are.
You know, the interesting point about it, as the extra point is good for New York, you know, it is such an interesting fact there. They are a team that we know have been able to pride themselves on the passing attack. It's no surprise. You expect it when you come to New York, or anytime you play New York, even when New York comes to your house. But the fact is they want to be able to be known for a ground attack too. And this team, so really putting all the pieces together at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Frank Doom in the chat. Kane was able to score. Amen to that, brother, as this return makes its way out to the 35-yard line. Minute and some change left in this first quarter for Philadelphia to work with.
Yeah, and already such a high-flying scoring action. And, you know, it's already better than New York's offensive performance last week. We can say that. But nonetheless, score's even. It's almost like a restart here.
It's the half Rashawn Williams that goes in motion to the bottom of the screen there, to the left of Mike Skamizniak, as he lets one fly, and it's off the hands of McBrownski again, looking his direction 2 times so far today, and both times it's been shut down.
Yeah, Andre Brown was able to get a hand in there, the new SFLm rookie who got signed at the start of this season, and really nice play there, and he's really developed into a really, really solid corner. You know, we call these games so often, we call his name, you know, quite a lot.
Skamizniak to throw, and coming out real pass heavy on this drive, and it's incomplete. Puts them in a hole here on 3rd and 10.
Yeah, and that was a nice hit there by the corner, just hitting the receiver right as the ball was there. And, you know, I wouldn't have been surprised if we saw some yellow cloth there, because that hit was really, really close, but maybe just out of the range of the receiver to be able to get it.
Minute and 1 second remaining in the first half. Not much time taken off the clock on this drive at all. 2 pass plays, 2 incompletions. Skamizniak now to throw on 3rd and 10. Pressure is coming, but he stands in there and delivers it. That's McBrownski with a great play. His first reception of the night. Obviously, something Skamizniak sees in this young man that he really wants to, for a lack of a better word, you know, give a shot here.
Yeah, great route there. And, that's one of those long over the middle routes. You start from the left side, you just keep going with it all the way to the right, and you're able to find something. And that's all about just sticking with your route and trying to outrun your man. And McBrownski did a great job of it there.
We'll go back to the ground game with Jesse Fretz, and that's another thing that we've been so fortunate, DJ, to talk about these games and
Hmm.
analyze them. We've called so many of them. We've got so familiar with these players. We know what their tendencies are, and one for Philadelphia is interchanging Rashawn Williams and Jesse Fretz with success.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, I mean that's the best way to put it. They really know the good times of when to get each back involved. They know what plays are better for each of those backs because they certainly have different running styles. Rashawn Williams is a bigger body. Fretz is a little bit more agile, able to fit through smaller gaps.
We've made it to the end of quarter number 1. We're all tied up. Just as exciting as we thought it would be. You're watching the SFLm on the Virtual Football Network. Cameron Duty and DJ Kilgannon here in the Big Apple with Alex West at SFLm headquarters. Christian Bacciagalupi says, is it going to be a reference-filled game? Frank Doom replied, aren't they usually? Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll hear a couple of punny jokes as we go on. Skamizniak throwing deep and connecting. Needle in a thread right there, getting that one to Jamar Shelton, and he had a big play last week, if you remember, that big bombs away pass from Skamizniak to Shelton for the touchdown against Boston.
Yep, I do. And another really good one there. And shout out to Skamizniak, such a good throw. And there was 3 people surrounding Jamar Shelton in coverage, and threw it right at the perfect moment.
And first and goal, you couldn't ask for much more from Philadelphia up to this point. Responding very well coming into this tough place to play. Look at Williams fighting, rolling over, and stopped just short. Hey, you talk about the fight, the strength between those two men there to keep him out of the end zone with him trying to give it everything he had to get across.
Yeah, and he scores those more often than not. Leads the lead in rushing touchdowns. Now, let's see what's going to happen on this one. Certainly a run, I'd imagine.
Over the top, leaping into the end zone. Allstott, the big fullback, for the touchdown and the lead again for Philly.
Yeah, and that play call certainly surprised me. I didn't see Osmosis at the fullback spot on that play, so I didn't think they were going to give it to him, but they did, and he dove over the. Not often do you see a big old fullback like that get that much airtime. Goodness gracious, but he did and was able to jump over the whole line to score.
Incredibly impressive for both himself and for Philadelphia here as they take the lead on another 8-play drive. If you are a Philadelphia fan or a player, you couldn't be more happy with how this game has started.
Yeah, absolutely. And, score quick, score efficiently. And you remember that last drive started, just before the end of the quarter mark. And they scored pretty quick.
Oh, man, he just about broke another one. Kelly Washington out to the 45-yard line here, DJ.
Yeah, he's having a really nice job returning. Already over 100 return yards.
He had near 50 the first time, and I think this last one was fielded around the 15-yard line. So, yeah, he has really done a nice job today for sure, getting New York some great field position as Goodman goes back under center with 2 or 3 receivers lined up to the top. And then, as I mentioned that, we see a man go in motion. That's Carroll Needfeld. 4 wide receivers to the right of Jordan Goodman, but he throws left for Michael Goodman and another 1st and 10. How about that? They loaded the top side there and had Philly thinking that was the way they were going to look.
Yeah, it's seeming like Goodman's, man-to-man or man-to-woman matchup, I should say, in this instance, is Miranda Dumas. And, we saw that time, she made the tackle as soon as the ball got there. She was not going to let that run after catch happen again like it did on that last first bomb we saw from New York.
New York looking to
Oh,
respond, and Goodman goes down, coming around the edge and wrapping up the QB. L.J. Hobbs with the sack. A perfectly timed sack for this Philadelphia defense. They try to make up some ground here.
yeah, and that was one of those plays where you have a tight end on the line of scrimmage, and he goes out for a route, and the defender was lined up right on the tight end and just saw him go past, didn't even make contact, just ran straight for the quarterback and hit the jackpot with that one.
Loss of 5 on that play. 2nd and 15. Ooh, that looked like it could have been intercepted. They get it to Lazardi. You had a Philadelphia defender there trying to break on the route to pick that one for another pick 6. Instead, it goes for a gain of 10.
Yeah, it did, and it was a really, really tight throw. I also thought it might go the other way, but Philly's really loading the box now. You got 8 people in it for this next play.
On 3rd and 5, making it manageable, and they're able to convert. That is the frustrating thing with New York. Just when you think you've got them in a hole, they've lost 5, they've lost 10, they've got a passing attack that can make it up quickly, and in 2 passing plays, they did, finding Lazardi there.
And that just shows how precise Jordan Goodman is. You can see it there, 9 for 11 right now. Doesn't miss very often. He is very concentrated and precise with his throws in those type scenarios.
Pressure coming again, almost getting home, but he stands in there and he delivers a shot. G2G taking the New York subway to the end zone for a touchdown.
Oh my goodness, Michael Goodman gets another one to his SFLm resume. And what a route. Breaks for the inside, then breaks it back. Has the linebacker just put a little bit too far forward with that double move, and G2G connects again. Getting Michael Goodman his 11th receiving touchdown on the campaign.
Unbelievable stats, and we've still got a lot of football to play this season. Extra point is good, and just when Philadelphia pulls out, New York able to race back down the field and tie it up, knot it up at 14 with 7:09 remaining in this first half. End over end kick fielded around the 7-yard line and will be returned by a fumble, but thankfully for them, a receiver there in the area to pick that one up. Now that's number 85, trying to get a number on that young man who made the very critical recovery. That one just squirted out.
Yeah, it was a tough hit, and Keys, let go of the ball. You hate to see that, but thankfully for Philadelphia's sake, they were able to recover it. In New York, they've become trademarked of that all season, getting those special team forced fumbles, and they did it again, almost, just not able to recover.
Could have been disastrous for these Philadelphia Cougars. Instead, it's a delayed handoff. It goes nowhere. Back to the line of scrimmage is all that Williams will get as he's tackled by Kano Fortson.
Yeah, that one was just completely blown up before it could even get any traction. The defensive line, it seemed like 2 or 3 of them shedded blocks as soon as they came, and now they're going to go for a bunch look to that left side.
Bunch with 3 receivers to the left of Skamizniak. Time to look and decides to let one go, and it is complete for some good positive yardage as he's able to find Toby Bonnets, and that makes it much more manageable here for 3rd down.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about how well that linebacking core played for New York, but if you're Philly, I would be just kind of scared to throw it to that middle of the field because those guys have hands like receivers.
Skamizniak stepping up and running for the first, and I think to your point, DJ, that's exactly why he didn't. I think that was perfectly illustrated, a well-timed description there. Sees nobody downfield, and he respects this defense, so he takes off with his feet to get the first.
Yeah, and it almost seemed kind of designed because Philadelphia's offensive line made a huge hole for Skamizniak to run through, and had a few over-the-middle routes that kept the Mike kind of distracted and just enough room to make it to the first.
Williams reversing course, gets left side there, and he finds 6 yards on a play that looked like it was going to be stopped pretty quickly.
Yeah, Highfield was able to make the tackle there, and he's had a really good season to his name. He, leads this team in tackles. He has been a forced fumble machine with 2. It's one of the best in the league as far as that goes, and has a pick to his name as well. He's been a star on this defensive side.
Handoff, Jesse Fritz. The Fritz Prince of Philadelphia makes it to the 1st and 10 for this Cougars team. Well, you know, you got G2G. You know, I mean, in the league we've got other names as well. That's the Fritz Prince. I like that.
I like that. That's good.
We'll see what the chat says. They'll let me know whether it's good or bad. Skamizniak to throw quickly. He gets it out, and it is complete to Jonathan. I'm sorry, I was going to say Kilgore. Actually, it's Jamar Shelton. I thought that was 44 for a minute. It's number 84, Jamar Shelton.
I was able to hold on to that one and hit as soon as the ball got there. And right now they're just doing kind of short yardage pickup plays and just able to meticulously march down the field right now as Philly.
Handoff to Williams. As in the chat, Jesse Fritz approves of the new nickname. I love to hear that.
A resounding yes, it seems.
And I'll tell you, those two are so much fun to watch, Rashawn Williams and Jesse Fritz, because so dynamic. And then you sprinkle a little John Osmosis in, or in this case today as well, Allstott, and they've got a great rushing unit.
Yeah, they absolutely do.
Going deep here, Skamizniak, one-on-one, and I thought he was going to be able to drop that one in there to Shelton. Looked like he had a dime on him. And then in the end, there's that Andre Brown again you talked about earlier in the game.
Yeah, he just ran. He just ran the route for the receiver. It's right there. It just stayed in front of him the whole time, was just completely mirroring his movements and was just able to slap it down. That's just perfection right there. That's just the best coverage you can ask for.
Shelton once again going in motion on 2nd and 10. 4:08 remaining in the half. Good drive again here by Philadelphia. Still plenty of time and patience. And finding that around the knees is McBrownski for a first.
Yeah, that was in the area of Andre Brown again, but just such a good throw by Skamizniak to throw it to a spot where no corners could reach it, but making it a difficult catch for the receiver, but close enough to the receiver for them to be able to hold on to it. That was a great play.
Jesse Fred says, remind him of Chris Boomer. That's quite the compliment, my friend. I certainly appreciate that. One of my favorites growing up during my youth. Throwing over the middle, that is complete once more. There's 44, Jonathan Kilgore, the tight end. I knew he'd be in the action somewhere.
Yep, you predicted it. And now it's just these little chunk plays. If I'm not mistaken, that big completion to that left side was, the biggest play of this drive so far.
Handing off, Williams with room to run. You could have run a semi through it. He gets 1st and goal, and Philadelphia again firing on all cylinders today.
And the blocking is just so good right now. And
so good.
It was just, there was two guys there. One of them was going to make it to Rashawn Williams before he got into the end zone. Now let's see what Philadelphia can cook up on the goal line again, and we're seeing it again back there. And that's Allstott again.
Yep. Will they go to the fullback? Instead, they go screen pass out of the back for Jesse Fritz. And the defense just reading that one, like you said, like a magazine. Tyler Highfield coming up on the stop, and that's going to be a loss.
Yeah, and go back to the chalkboard, and they have John Osmosis in the fullback spot, and if I'm not mistaken, this is a very similar look to that dive we saw previously.
Very similar. It's that toss play left side. Williams able to just walk in for the touchdown. Right now, as it stands, we have 34 points total put up in this first half alone, and we still got 2:19 remaining as Philadelphia pulls back out front.
Yeah, and a good thing they put Osmosis back in. He breaks out quick, finds a block, the pulling guard gets a nice block, and Rashawn Williams could have, slow walked his way into the end zone, and he would have been untouched nonetheless. And another touchdown to his resume. My goodness.
After that, it was just a foot race to the edge. Yeah. And, hard to beat Rashawn Williams as the extra point is good. 2:19 remaining. Now, folks, we're going to give you a moment to think here. I've been thinking about this, DJ, and this will be the first time you hear it. But 2:19 remaining in this first half. Got a question for you, folks. Philadelphia cheesesteak or New York hot dogs? Let us know in the chat what your favorite is for sure. Two American staples right there. What a hit! Speaking of American staples, good American hard-hitting football on display by this team as Washington takes a shot.
Yeah, Washington just bang! Oh my goodness! Knock that guy back a few dozen yards, why don't you?
Man, yeah. I'm telling you, these two teams, you know, they very much respect each other, but they do not care to lay one another out, do they?
No, not at all, not one bit.
Stephen Goodman in the chat says cheesesteak, as well as Miles. He says cheesesteak. Also, that play, nice tip. What a great job by Kefsay getting up there to just get a hand on that football and redirect its route.
Yeah, and that was just such a good play, and it could have been a huge play for New York, and he tried to loft it over the top of the defenders, and if he would have caught it in his stride, it could have been gone, but they just completely bottled that one up.
Second down, Goodman will go back to the drawing board. He throws a little ahead of Michael Goodman, just out of reach, and 3rd and 10 coming up here.
Yeah, now the playbook's completely open for New York, and this is one of their staples. Just being able to convert on these 3rd and longs whenever they need to, and let's see if Philadelphia can shut that down.
Well, we know what they're going to do, an empty set here on 3rd and 10. Philadelphia going to have to come up with a big one here.
My guess is they're going to go to Goodman over the middle. Let's see.
5 options out there over the middle and one-handed grab. And again, you are correct, DJ. That is why it's so tough to stop this unit.
Yep. They just know what they want to do, and it's so hard to stop Goodman. It was the play I imagined in my head, and they've done it so much, so often. And we know these teams watch their film, but regardless of how much they watch, it's still hard to stop.
You never can get them painted in a corner, as we've hit the 2-minute warning here, folks. But it is so difficult to feel like you have them behind the 8 ball. Another first down, and this drive will continue. Oh, we got some good responses here, DJ.
It seems pretty split in the chat right now.
We'll read a couple of those off in just a moment for those of you maybe who don't have the chat pulled up. Kane with the carry, and Kane is not able this time to pushed behind by Zachary Babineau for a loss on the play.
Yeah, another big play from Babineau, just completely bottling that one up and on the edge.
We'll look at the chat. Frank Doom says Nathan's hot dogs from Coney Island. That sounds delicious. Think outside the box says New York hot dogs for sure. Oh, and right at the line of scrimmage again, Kane is met, not able to get past the scrimmage line there, and another loss on the play. 3rd and 12 here for New York.
Let's see that 3rd and long play again. Let's see what they cook up. Let's see if they go back to the well right now. And you know, Philly's in the same exact defense they were on the previous 3rd down. So if they did, it'd probably work.
Throwing over the middle, and again, same play or at least the same target and the same result.
Same play.
Yeah, a one-handed grab by Michael Goodman, and talk about mounting frustration, not being able to stop that.
Yeah, it's just they have control. They're able to dictate what they need to do when they want to do it, and it works to perfection now. You know, they're going back to this 2-receiver look, and they keep passing out of it.
Pressure coming by Philly, and instead, over the top of them all, Jordan Goodman flings one out there for Michael, and a good drive being put together here. Timeouts being called very effectively, and moving into scoring position is the Gargoyles at the end of this half.
Yeah, and he's just keeps going to Goodman, and Miranda Dumas, she is laying some really hard hits on Goodman. She is not going to let those catches go unanswered.
Kojiro Rivers, the fullback, lining up on the edge here. Play clock down to 5 as Goodman throwing with time. Quick release, bounces around, intended for Lazardi, falls to the ground, incomplete with 59 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and if you're Philly, you know, just under a minute of playtime, like you said, if you're Philly, no touchdowns. You can let them get a field goal in worst case scenario, but you just cannot let up a a touchdown, excuse me, right now. If you're Philly, you just got to shut down this offense.
Empty set. We know what's coming, and they can't defend it. They bid on it, trying to get the INT, but instead, it is Michael Goodman who makes them pay, and there's that touchdown they didn't want to give up, DJ.
Yep, that was it again, and they go back to Goodman on the same route as before. And Jordan Goodman threads the needle. They expected it and still could not stop G2G. Electrifying here in New York, and everybody is cheering. And Michael Goodman getting his 12-pack, his 12th on the year.
Incredible. Kevin Say Jr. was an eyelash from intercepting that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was close. With 54 seconds remaining here in this first half and all tied up at 21. Back to the chat here. We'll look real quickly. Christian Bacciagalupi says New York hot dogs isn't in the same league as a Philly cheesesteak. Frank Doom says don't forget the New York brick oven pizza. Well, I'm a big pizza fan, so absolutely. Got to have a chance to have some of that New York cuisine when I visited the area a couple of years ago. What about you, DJ? What would you prefer? What of the two? Or three? Let's add pizza in there.
Well, if you're adding pizza, it's got to be pizza, no doubt. I have a lot of family up from New York. My mom grew up in Brooklyn, and when I was a young wee lad, I used to stay up there in Oceanside. But now I'm down south, and I don't get to enjoy those delicacies of the Northeast anymore. But I'm a little biased to the Nathan's hot dog.
Oh yeah, that's had a couple of in my day. It's some fantastic stuff. Me and a seagull shared the same hot dog. It would, funny story about that. I couldn't eat the one Nathan's hot dog that I had a chance to really enjoy at that particular trip because, I mean, obviously they wanted some of the bread there, so they got more bread than I did. As Shelton makes the reception, 2nd and 4. Williams now with the carry, fighting hard for the first, making a man miss. Look at this, and almost gets out of bounds. 17 seconds remaining. DJ, that should put them with a pretty good shot here if they want to go downfield on a Hail Mary or make it two.
Yeah, and I think they wanted to run the clock out, but after such a good run, why not try and take a shot? They call a timeout, and you have two more, and they're certainly in a passing look now.
Kamizniak to throw. That's quick. Not sure what happened there, if maybe the arm come forward or something, and the ball slipped out. Obviously, Williams felt like he should have been in the area. Good thing that really wasn't called, if we want to be honest, and that stops the clock. 15 seconds left.
Kind of seemed like he was stuck on the tackle there trying to get out for the route, but not able to.
2nd and 10. They go back to the ground, and Williams. Gain 1, and that may just tell them or tell us all we need to know as they're ready to ride this one out into the lockers. And that's what we're going to get here, DJ. Final. No. Oh, my goodness. So a timeout called. That really surprised me. I thought we were going to just head back to the locker rooms, take a break, put this first half to bed. And it's 3rd and 9. They want to go deep one more time.
Let's see.
Listen to this crowd.
I don't hate it. I really don't.
3rd and 9, and instead they just run a toss play left side. Almost makes you wonder if there was maybe an audible in the back of their mind. If they seen something they liked, they could switch out of it. But in the end, they decided to stay conservative with a little toss play there.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to make sure Williams has that number 1 rushing yard slot locked in, active and inactive players. That pushes them up to number 1 in this season.
Welcoming you in here to the SFLm halftime report. Cameron Duty and DJ Kilgannon having a great time. A fantastic football game on display for you all. And now you just wonder, because you know how these second halves are. New York, scary to say, can get more dangerous in the 3rd and 4th quarter and even more aggressive in the passing attack. So for Philadelphia, how do you counteract that? Is it the same? You just keep your foot on the gas and this is a foot race to the end?
Yeah, I think that's really all you can do against New York is your passing attack, or your offense really as a whole just needs to keep putting points up. And really, all it's going to take is your defense making one more big play. Like we saw that pick six previously. Maybe get another one of those and keep your offense cooking like it has been, and they could walk away from this one with a win.
Welcome you back to the East River Cathedral. Beautiful spring day here in New York. Zach Benjamin in the chat references Geno Steaks, South Philly, as well as, I believe, is that Jim's West Philly? Wow, those sound like some good spots to keep in mind if we ever find ourselves again up there. Maybe next week, DJ, when we're up there, or next time Philadelphia's home, when we're not having the jet set as we sometimes have to do.
Yep, absolutely. I know I'm hopping. I'm probably going to get a Nathan's hot dog on my way to my upcoming flight, but I'll have to scarf it down. You know, I hate when people eat on planes. I don't know about you. So I could never do it.
I understand. And again, as we like to say, you got a plane to catch because you will be on the call for the game coming up at 8:30, if I'm not mistaken. We'll talk about that game in just a moment. Skamizniak throwing right here out of the gate. Talk about keeping the foot on the gas. They find Shelton once more right around the midfield logo for a first down.
Yeah, and that's a nice job of keeping your foot on the gas. You know, a decent little play to start it out, and they go to that New York special of that little outside post route to, you know, get it right before the safeties. And, you know, it's already past the 50 for Philadelphia. Talk about keeping your foot on the gas.
Three receivers bunched to the top. And pressure starting to invade as Skamizniak drops that one off to, I believe that's Williams, the halfback, doing a great job. And we know that he can catch a football. So another very viable target here for Skamizniak.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, does a little just fade route right out of the back, makes it past the line and just goes straight up. And it worked really well. Not a single, you know, linebacker in the area was still in the zone that they needed to be able to cover it. And he just took full advantage of it.
Just outside the 30 here for Philadelphia. Oh, and look at Jesse Fritz, the Fritz Prince of Philadelphia, getting a good run on first down, gain of 8.
You know, my bet would be he'd be a cheesesteak guy. At least I'd hope, or these guys in Philly when he gets back might chase him out. I feel like you can't have your Fritz Prince be a hot dog supporter.
Well, you know what the Fresh Prince said back in the day. Will Smith said that it's not a cheesesteak unless there's some grease on the bag. Williams rolling over and he gets the first down. But, you know, I got to agree, too. No offense to Subway or these places like that who do the Philly steaks or whatever. Because, I mean, they're good. Don't get me wrong. But if you don't have it, you know, sopping with grease, you know, really, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. You need it straight off the grill, you know, sopping, like you said.
Subway's wanting to do the healthy alternative route, but who wants that, right? Handoff by Williams, Fritz again on the carry across the 10. Wow, what a great play! Good blocking up front and making men miss.
There we go, and really solid run from him. Just able to great block as well from everybody. Osmosis laid a really good block. It gave Fretz plenty of room to run. He could have drove a car through that one, and now they're inside the 10, well into the red zone, and let's see if they take a run or pass first approach.
After that run, Jesse Fritz does approve of the cheesesteak. Pepper jack, indeed, DJ. That sounds delicious. Oh, and Williams takes a shot at the end of that one. That's going to be, well, you know, no doubt you need a hand getting up after you take a hit like that.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, it's just a little chunk play, gets them to the 5 now, closer and closer, as they say. And, you know, they're in this look again. They've done the dive out of it a few times. They've done the pitch. There it is again.
Brett cuts back in. Couple more yards, chipping away at it. Second and goal.
Oh, no.
Oh, and Jasad Grackleflint, one of the impact players on this New York defense, down on the ground. They roll him over, and we'll see if he can walk off under his own power.
Oh, you hate to see somebody go down in such a high-intensity type moment, and Jasad Grackleflint, he's been playing at an elite level all season, really. And last game, had another huge game, and you hate to see him go out, and hopefully he's able to make it back in.
And again today, 6 tackles. Yeah, the man just puts in the work. And so easy to spot on the field with that big neck roll, you know, just so identifiable out there.
Makes him look mean.
It does. Jamar Shelton going in motion. That is picked up top side by New York. And throwing out of the backfield screen. They try it again with Williams, and good coverage by Eric Belmont, not letting that one get a yard more. And it's 4th.
Yeah, and I don't hate the play call there. It was really just that or throwing it into a well-covered spot. But, nonetheless, if Philly makes the field goal, it's going to give them a 3-point lead. And, not as dominant on offense as they were in the first half. We're able to score on most of their possessions to the red zone. But, points are points. They're going to be happy with that.
They sure are. This kick is up and good, so they do, again, jump out front here. Gain of, or I should say with a 3-point lead, excuse me. And, now for your Philadelphia defense, not to ratchet up any kind of pressure or anything here, DJ, but the fact is you really need this defense to be able to come out and put a stop on this Gargoyles offense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Washington has been doing this all day. If he keeps this up, he's going to be over 200 yards or more.
Goodness.
Back out. Look at this. Into Philadelphia territory to the 43. And this has been a big problem today for Philadelphia, getting this man down after a kick return.
Yeah, I don't know if it's something new. I don't know about you, Cam. I don't remember calling the name Washington on special teams all too often for New York previously. But now he's just having himself a game.
Yeah, I do not. I don't recall this domination. Also, I'll put it that way, on the return game. But working, yeah, I mean, they've spent most of this game, right around the midfield logo. And when you give the Goodman and company just, 47 yards or 43 yards or what have you to play with, very dangerous as Collins comes up with a big stop there.
Yeah, absolutely. Just if you have such a good offense like this, I mean, there's no better thing than giving them such good field position, because it's just going to be that much easier for them to put points on the board.
Toss it to the left with Kane, makes a man miss. Good head-on tackle that time, though, by both number 53, Aaron Collins. It may have been Babineau in the area as well. I feel like that was the two linebackers coming up there, if my eyes didn't deceive me. And it's 3rd and 8.
Yeah, I think you're right. Now, New York, let's see if they go back to the well. They're in the same formation that we've seen this Goodman post, right to that left side.
And Goodman throwing, and you are right. It is so predictable, but so dominating and so hard to stop. It doesn't matter if you know it's going to happen, DJ. What are you going to be able to do to stop it?
Nothing clearly right now. And, Philly, out of the half, I imagine maybe we would have seen a, adjustment to it. But if I'm on that sideline, I'm like, look, if they're in that dime look, 3 or 4 people get on him, because it's just automatic.
We've seen Philadelphia able to get some pressure earlier in this game on Goodman, but since then, that offensive line of the Gargoyles has been able to pick everything up nicely as Kane gets trapped behind the lineman. They're just trying to push the pile and make something happen, and a loss of 1 with Nixon Cooper on the tackle.
Yeah, blew that one up, and, the last 3 runs for them have accumulated 1 yard in total. They had 2 runs for 1 yard each, and then a loss of 1 there. Just not looking too great right now.
3 receivers to the top for Goodman. He throws. It is bobbled because of a shot laid. Kevsey Jr. on Lazardi, and him as well as, I believe that was number 20 who was in the area for Philadelphia as well, able to throw that one loose.
Yeah, and just a tight throw in a tight spot now. We're back to the same look. We'll see if they are able to convert in this situation again.
Yeah, this is going to be a big play right here. Pressure coming around the edges. Tip! And you got to credit, obviously, with the tip. A good job there by Philly. But also you have to credit that defensive line, DJ, that was able to put just enough pressure on Goodman to where he had to throw it a little early.
Yeah, absolutely. And finally able to get a stop in the 3rd and long. And just out of field goal range is New York, and really nice job from Philadelphia, able to stop them in such good field position as they had that they have to punt it.
And that is not going to be good for Henderson. That one was just skied. It didn't have a lot on it at all.
Yeah.
And instead, Philadelphia's going to have some pretty good position here.
Yeah, you don't see that too often from Henderson.
Checking back in with the chat. I'd like to welcome in John Lakeman and Credit Keys, J.W. Hart, Jason Peace all here in the chat. John Osmosis as well. Thank you, guys. Skamizniak throwing, and he almost threw a dangerous pick six. Almost into the hands of the cornerback. I believe that is a young man off the bench. We don't have a name on the roster for him.
We stole Dominic Kane's jersey, I think, on that. Or maybe that was him. You never know.
Well, it could be. New York could be trying some different things out there.
Yeah, he doesn't have those orange sleeves, but definitely took his jersey.
Williams, not much on the play there. Sproul with that tackle and a gain of 2.
Now here we go, the 3rd and long now for Philly, and they've been decent at converting it so far, but New York, their defense is stout. Let's see where Philly decides to go with it.
3rd and 8. Philadelphia wants to convert here and find a way to pull away from this Gargoyles team, but they're going to have to make some magic on 3rd and 8. Toby Bonnets moves up to the top of the screen, throwing complete to Shelton, who has been just perfect tonight for Philadelphia up to this point.
Yep, absolutely has, and such a good route there from Shelton. He's looking to go inside the whole way and then finally breaks outside once he's past the sticks and had the corner fooled. The safety was just a little late to get there, considering he had to watch out for everybody else on the field, and it gives Philly still life left in this drive.
3:33 and counting in this 3rd quarter, fast-moving quarter. You can tell things have been a little more methodical out of the locker room here for this 2nd half up to this point. We kind of expected that. Oh my goodness, and stealing that one out of the hands of the defender was Toby Bonnets. I was afraid that was going to go for the interception. Great job of Bonnets here. I hope we get a replay.
Yeah, let's see it. Belmont had his eyes on it and just literally right off his hands.
He literally ripped it out of his hands.
Wow. Made the catch for him.
Incredible. Yeah, incredible. That'd have to be a nice hands catch if we were up in the majors. That's just something. Skamizniak, plenty of time. Throw short. Some of these passes are worrying me just a little bit, as that one almost was contested as well with Sproul.
Yeah, almost had another pick, had a huge one last week and took it for 6. And, we talked about how lethal these linebackers are in the pass help, and Skamizniak learned it the hard way right there with that tight throw.
Well, Dan McBrowski in motion. Skamizniak fires, and he finds Goosebusters. Who you going to call with 2:45 in the 3rd, and you need a big play?
Goosebusters it is. And they just fire it to him right over the middle, and it's nothing but green grass. He does a nice job of splitting the safeties, and the corner was there there was Elliott Waddell, who was there in the area to make the play. Just a little bit too up front on it. Was able to catch it in stride and continue running. Got a lot more yardage than probably expected on that one to the tight end.
Just into the red zone here. It's Philadelphia with pressure coming. Drops it off to Shelton over the middle. I do not mind that decision at all. That was safe. Got you some positive yards and a manageable 2nd down.
Yep. Really nice play there on the 1st down. That's exactly what you want. You could run, you could pass, you could do really anything, going forward. And New York, they have a really heavy set box here now and a really heavy run look from Philly.
A great insight by Jason Peace in the chat. 7 players with a catch now. They go back to the run. And William, in the wrong direction. That is something that New York has been able to take away from them this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, absolutely is. And Philly, they just kind of redirected to the passing game, and it's been working for them really well. And let's see if they can do it again here in the empty set.
Huge play. As DJ says, empty set. And we see motion. Bringing 3 receivers to the left of Skamizniak. And with the throw, firing, he had his man, if I'm not mistaken. Just too much mustard on that one. And it's 4th and 7.
You know, too much mustard on that, Nathan's, as they say. And
Yeah,
yeah,
oh, he had
definitely
him.
had him. Wow.
Yeah, even Brown was even looking the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
Let's see if they're in field goal range. They might just be 34-yard attempt. It'll be close.
It will be close. For Philadelphia wanting to put some more points on the board, try to pad their lead. We'll see if they can do it here. Non-contracted kicker for Philly. And no. A promising drive that really looked just a couple of plays ago as if they could go down and punch it in the end zone, and instead they come away with nothing. But that right there just shows the importance of getting a contracted kicker in this league.
Yeah, and it's hard. You know, not a lot of people want to be on the special team side, but when you get one, you just got to be happy about it and take full advantage of it. And really, none of these guys have contracted kickers. Ron Henderson for New York does the role as well, but he's a punter. And he's all they have as far as, you know, rookie special team players go. And he certainly plays a huge part for New York. He has made a lot of big plays in tight games.
New York's there kind of on the ropes for a moment, or it seemed it anyway, as this is made by James Jennings over the middle. Whew, and then, you know, a new lease on life, catch your breath if you're New York and go back to what you do best here.
Yeah. You know, this is a really important game right now for New York because if they're able to pull out the win, they will clinch the 1 seed as far as playoffs go, Cam. They will be the 1 seed, no ifs, ands, or buts. They will have the home journey for the rest of the playoff contention. If Philly's able to get the win, they'll be locked in at 3. If Boston loses later tonight, they'll be at the 4. And San Jose, they are the 2 seed as of right now. Unless New York loses out and San Jose wins out, then the 1st seed will switch.
Oh, run play going nowhere, trying to turn back around there, make something happen was Tommy Thompson. Instead, he runs right into number 56, L.J. Hobbs, runs smack dab into 6'6", 286 pounds.
Yeah.
Ouch.
And he's been having a pretty silent, spectacular game. You know, he had that sack early on and, you know, made another big play there.
Final play of the 3rd, and it's Goodman throwing, tipped, contested, almost intercepted. Nice job of Philadelphia there to almost bring that one in. And it's an incompletion as we come to the end of the 3rd. The first 2 quarters, we had 34 points. 3 points in the 3rd. You're watching the SFLm on the VFN Virtual Football Network. Yeah, get your 4s out in the chat. Cameron Duty here with DJ Kilgannon and Alex West at SFLm headquarters. We alluded a few moments ago to the game coming up, the nightcap coming up at 8:30. We'll talk about that in just a second. As Goodman throwing again, tipped again. This Philadelphia defense has come to play. Kefsey Jr. with the deflection.
Yeah, and they finally stopped that post route. That G2G post we've been seeing all game. Finally able to get a hand on it and bat it down.
Henderson will come on. The return man waiting off in the distance. This is a better looking punt for Henderson for sure. Inside the 20. And that's McBrownski taking off. It's out to the 34. Folks, coming up at 8:30, my buddy DJ has got to hit the red eye, and he's got to get up to Massachusetts as the San Jose Flight come into town to play the Boston Rebels. Again, that is at 8:30. You will not want to miss that one. DJ is going to be on the call, as well as Brett Killian. So it's going to be a lot of fun, no doubt. We invite you to stick around for it. First and 10 here for Philadelphia. Skamizniak throwing. What a quick drop back and an even quicker pass out of the hands of Skamizniak as he finds Toby Bonnets on a quick route.
Yeah, Bonnets got the one back from earlier when, you know, it was in the end zone, not able to haul it in, and now finding space in between the defenders there. Grackleflint, who's now back on the field, just made that tackle. He went down with the injury earlier. Good to see him back and, you know, saving a lot of yardage there.
Definitely going to need Jasad Grackleflint. Empty set for Philadelphia. Jamar Shelton, who has had a spectacular game, going in motion. And the throw, Skamizniak off the mark. Looked as if he had a receiver there set up for the catch, but some miscommunication, no doubt. 2nd and 10 now.
Yeah, certainly some miscommunication indeed. And now, if you're New York, there's still plenty of game to be played, but certainly you want to hold them, to very most a field goal. You cannot let a touchdown come up if you're New York right now, or it's going to be a 2-possession ball game.
Swole Adventures in on the chat. Good to see you. Thanks to everybody for hanging out with us this evening. This has been a blast.
Oh.
And that was a costly mistake. Wrapped up around the hips and thrown to the ground. P. Fudor says none of that.
Huge play there for P. Fudor on the defensive line, breaking off that edge and just pulling him down with authority. Mike Skamizniak getting brought down. He's not often sacked. He's only been sacked 8 times coming into this game. And that right there was a very costly one for Philly.
Skamizniak, can he make some magic? Backing up and throwing. Oh, it's incomplete. Keys, man. And you know what? Again, this is second half has turned into a very defensive battle. And we have seen the adjustments made, both working well for both teams. But, man, for New York, each time you're ahead and you can't punch it in, the frustration has to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. That one, not a horrible read. It was going to be a tough catch nonetheless, but, it got hit as the ball got there and not able to hold on to it. You kind of got to just try and bounce back from that one and hope your defense can go out there and make another big stop.
Fair catch called for at the 28-yard line. Folks, how many likes do we have on this video so far? We certainly appreciate all of them, but not to sound greedy, but it's not enough. Smash that like button and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and make sure you've got your notifications on so you won't miss a minute of SFL and SFLm action, and help this channel grow through your support. Goodman throwing over the middle, incomplete. Needfelt the intended target. We haven't seen them go Carroll's way too much this game.
Yeah, and to the props of Philly, they've been bottling up every receiver that's not Goodman. Every time the ball goes to another one of those receivers, there is a corner or two just completely blanketing them.
From the 28. Goodman with all kinds of time. Could have went and got him one of those Nathan's hot dogs. Goodman, Michael that is, trying to run back for it. Just a little underthrown. It's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, and on the underneath, James Jennings was open, but went to Goodman in coverage and was not able to haul it in. And now we're going to see that post route to the left side again. Let's see if Philly knows that.
Yep, 3rd and 10. As Philly prepared for it, Goodman, complete to Michael Goodman. G2G, and you're right. At this point, they don't even try to hide it, DJ. We can see it, and we know it's coming. So does Philly, but really, though, not able to accurately defend against it. Too much space out there.
Yeah, Dumas playing well off him, as the coverage says, and, again, hitting Goodman just as the ball gets there. But a guy like Michael Goodman, he's not like everybody else. He is not going to drop those catches in coverage like that. Not often, at least.
Father-son connection. It's a special thing, and going so well here in the SFLMs. Goodman again throwing and finding Lazzardi. Somehow, how do you get that wide open? Down to the 30.
Yeah, there was just way too much room in the area, like you said, Cam, and in a spot that's this tight, and it's all or nothing at this point. And Lazzardi getting just completely open, a great route there, and now we saw already one turnover in the red zone. Let's see if New York can convert this time.
Eaton Moss laying just too far back there on Lazzardi, and Lazzardi makes him pay. Dominic Kane with the carry, nowhere to go. That's a absolute gridlock at the line of scrimmage for Forward progress, none to be found. 2nd and 10.
Golly, what a way for Philly to just bottle that one up. And the run game worked pretty well in the first half for New York. Not spectacularly, but a lot better than this half. Philly's just completely bottling it up in this half.
Tight end James Jennings goes in motion for New York. That's number 88. And pressure coming, and they get home. They get Goodman down, and it's to the credit of big number 66 for Philadelphia, Michael Percoco.
What a huge play there. Able to fight off the offensive lineman there. Sam Falco on the block just gets beat and was able to pull him down for the sack. That is a huge one. Now New York, another 3rd and long. Let's see if they convert. This is a huge moment.
Yeah, because field goal range, I don't know at this point without a contracted kicker. This
is farther than the one that was missed previously, and they punted from this range.
Goodman able to make it up. One-handed grab, and you just can't stop the G2G. A 1st and 10. They don't even have to worry about that scenario.
Yep, they don't at all because they go back to it, and again, it's a little bit more crowded on that side, but it's that same route, and they find him in the sea of, offensive, defensive players. There were so many people around, and that throw getting Goodman over the 3-century mark, and now, get him to the 15. You don't have too much field to play with. Eventually, the passing game's going to have to stop unless they can get into the end zone from back here.
Dumas has had a tough night. Have to keep up with Goodman there. They have really picked on her. Lazardi, 1 yard short of the touchdown. Man, that was just a match of skill and strength coming all together here. And I believe that was Dumas again that they're going after. Yeah, targeting her at this point.
Yeah, and it's a brave strategy because if I'm not mistaken, Cam, in your call, Bossier City, Fort Worth, Miranda Dumas made the game-sealing interception.
Yes.
Miranda Dumas is a great corner, but it's just they're finding matchups that they like.
And that is exactly right. As Kane, gets stopped. Man, man, a hit too late on LJ Hobbs. You're right, though, DJ. That was, Miranda with the big INT. And, of course, that was the game when we thought I had went into warp speed on the Millennium Falcon there due to some technical difficulties. Memorable for a lot of reasons, no doubt. Yeah. 2nd and goal. Thankfully, none of that here today. Just good, solid football. Dominic Kane with the touchdown. And late in this game, New York taking the lead.
Dominic Kane getting his back, able to fight for the yardage. And, come in that scenario, maybe you get a little nervous that New York can't pass the ball anymore. They say it doesn't matter. They give it to Kane, and he fights for the yardage. You see that rushing touchdown for New York, and all I think is it's got to be Kane. And he scores, giving them the lead.
Man, this game not over by any stretch of the imagination. The extra point is good, although it is a 4-point game with 4:44 remaining in the 4th. A lot of fours in that one statement.
Yeah.
We'll see what Philadelphia can do here.
Hopefully someone gets that "it's got to be Kane" reference. Hopefully I don't sound crazy.
I think you're fine. I'm sure somebody out there in the chat certainly will.
Do you?
And here, well, yes.
Good. That makes me feel a little better.
At least I think I do.
Do you?
Well, I thought I did. Hey, that's an ad, right? That's
no,
an ad.
It's not.
No? Oh, okay. Well, then I'm thinking of it's got to be Gain. Sorry, I'm thinking of an advertisement for. Okay, so enlighten me here, DJ. Where did you get that from?
We're talking about some old classic JR and some WWF.
Oh my God, yes, Undertaker and Kane. Oh my, that's what you said, JR. By God, I know.
It's gotta be Kane.
It's gotta be Kane. Yes, it did. Oh, that classic brother rivalry. Skamizniak throwing. Shelton again coming up big time. Clutch in that matter.
Yeah, talk about some WWF. That looked like the sideways slam there. able to catch that one in traffic, and the linebacker just picks him up and slams him right as it gets there. And nice start for Philly. It seems like on these drives they have the first, big play that fires it off, and then they just kind of slow down a little bit and get chunk yardage. Let's see if they go back with that same strategy.
4:14 remaining, keeping it on the ground here, and just no hole to run through. Good job of New York here.
Yeah, that was P. Fudor again with a big play, and not often do you see Rashawn Williams go down that easily, but Fudor just lit him up on that one.
So it's safe to say that P. Fudor shut the door on Williams that carry.
I think so. I think that is safe to say.
Loss of 1, 3:50 remaining in the fourth. Skamizniak backing up, throwing, and that was dangerous, looking for Shelton. It hits the shoulder pad of Brogan Speraw, and Philadelphia with a big 3rd and 11 here. I mean, huge 3rd and 11. Probably playing the game to this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is, it was just like that 3rd down and long that we had when Michael Goodman made the catch on the other side. This is the same type of moment. They need it. They have to get it.
We see motion from Philadelphia with has-been Keys. Maybe he's got the key to the game here. Escamilla, plenty of time, throwing, and incomplete. He was looking for Keys, and it doesn't happen. They fall short. 4th and 11.
Oh, maybe just some miscommunication there, because Keys was a little bit farther back on the pass, and there was another receiver who it looked like was on the ground. I don't know if I saw that right, but maybe I don't know. Maybe it was going to the short receiver, and Keys, saw it going to them and maybe tried to go lay a block. I don't know, but that was just a little bit of mix-up. And now Philly, they have no other choice but to try and get a stop now, or they are going to walk out of New York with a loss.
Yeah, and what a great game that they have played. But, yet you go back to it and you start to look at the things, the field goal. We worried about the field goal because we know when you play with or against New York, it's not so much of a marathon as it is a sprint. I mean, it's fast-paced, and you got to get every point you can. And then the couple of possessions that resulted in punts this second half been tough. Goodman to Goodman again, 1st and 10. The clock will now run, and every second gets very, very precious here.
Yeah, absolutely. And for all of these teams, you might be down in the dumps when it comes to your regular season record, but every single one of these teams are going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. Everyone will have a chance to. Exactly. It's going to be all about seeding. The higher seedings, of course, going to have the advantage. And New York going to have that advantage if they're able to pull out the win, being the 1 seed. But everyone has a chance. You just got to try. Every week you have to learn from it and try and develop a better game plan the next week.
Lazardi going in motion. Clock still running down to 2:50. They hand it off. That is Kane. Loss of 1 by Aaron Collins with the stop. Now, just to remind everybody, if New York wins, they clinch that number 1 seed. If Philadelphia is able to come from behind here in the last minutes of this game and win, they'll clinch the number 3 seed. And for Boston, if they lose, they're guaranteed the 4th seed. We're leaving San Jose with the number 2 seed unless New York loses out and San Jose wins out. And that's a tall order.
It is indeed.
Goodman throwing again to Michael Goodman. And now, really, it feels like just trying to put this game on ice as we approach the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, and, they want to chew the clock out. They do. But when the passing game is working as well as it is, and especially in those long yardage scenarios, why not sprinkle a little bit of it in there? And Goodman now 209 yards on the game, and just another one of those dominant performances for G2G.
2 minutes remaining. New York looking for their 7th victory of this SFLm season. Incredible, and they're just a couple first downs away from doing so. This is it for Philadelphia. Needing a big play, needing another pick 6, needing a fumble, something for this Cougars team if they want to make something of it. Babineau with the stop and a timeout taken.
Yep, not a bad spot for it. But, they're past the midfield now as New York, and You know, best case scenario, they can run the clock out, but Philly has done a really good job of shutting down the run completely right now. Oh, goodness.
Safe to say it pretty much comes down to this.
Cam, you're back in orbit, brother. And now, New York under center is Jordan Goodman. He's got a man in the backfield, 2 receivers out to the right side. You there? Maybe so. Oh, and they're going to punt. Ooh. Well, I mean, yeah, there it goes. There it goes. You're good now.
Minutes of action again.
Someone's out to get you.
When things get the most nerve-wracking, I go to outer space.
There you go. Good idea.
Gonna have to work on keeping me grounded. Toby Bonnet, they're in motion. Skamizniak, and as you've seen, they were able to get the stop, DJ.
Yep. And almost such a Henderson made it land right at the 1 yard line, and it barely bounced out of the back of the end zone. My goodness.
Throwing tipped and incomplete. 2nd and 10, minute 16 remaining.
Big hit from Grackleflint. I'm sure everybody in New York is happy to see that big guy back on the field and making big plays again. And now, 2nd and long. Just over a minute left. You know, you got to make something happen.
.16 remaining in this 4th quarter. Throwing, it's Bonnet with the connection. This drive continues, DJ.
It does indeed, and the time is going. Gonna probably hike it with about a minute left, and you know, they're out of timeouts. You have 60 seconds to try and take the win.
Throwing, and then all of a sudden, Skamizniak looking like a seasoned pro out here, not no rookie. Shelton coming up with the reception.
About 40 seconds left once they come to the play hike. Shelton breaking the century mark. Philadelphia, they are closing in on the end zone.
Half a minute to play. Williams with the carry. Now, let's not forget, you know they want to take it down to 0 here, but they need a touchdown. A field goal won't cut it.
Yep, absolutely won't, and going to drop back here.
Throwing the double coverage. How did that happen? McBrownski with the catch of a lifetime. 15 seconds, DJ.
Oh, let's see if they spike it. They don't!
They don't. 12 seconds. 11 seconds. Incomplete, intended for Goosebusters.
Oh, they almost went to the honk. Goosebusters unable to haul that one in, and now they just have over 10 seconds. You cannot run the ball, Philadelphia. You have to air it out for receivers on the field. Let's see what they can do.
Philadelphia looking for the upset. 11 seconds. Can they do it? The throw, right off the hands, of McBrownski. That would have been close anyway, but man, 7 seconds to go. One final time, possibly 2, but we're thinking 1 here.
Yeah, if it's an incompletion quick, they might have another shot, but this is going to be close. If they complete it and don't score and don't go out of bounds, it's probably game.
Gamizniak throwing. It's going to be stopped. Oh my goodness. 2 yards short of the victory. And in the end, New York holds on.
That's tragic. I wish there was more time to see who made that huge tackle. The game-saving tackle. My goodness, just that was the play. That made it. And oh my goodness, what a spot to make it. What a tight game. Came down to literally the final second.
Game ball, what have you got for us, DJ?
I feel like it's between one of the. It's got to be between father and son for me, but considering Goodman, I mean, it comes down to perfection or perfection, really.
But an incredible, yeah. I mean, Goodman to Goodman, definitely. Yeah. I gotta agree with you.
I'll tip it to Michael because Jordan had the pick, but both of them, everyone, just great performance.
Folks, what a game. Thank you so much for being here with us. Coming up at 8:30, San Jose and Boston. You're going to have BK and DJ on the call, and of course, Alex West, our commissioner, there as well. Folks, for Alex West, for DJ, my name is Cameron Duty. We'll talk to you next time. Thanks for being a part of this great game. You've been watching the SFLm on the Virtual Football Network. Good night.